Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. I'm Ikeshrafter, and tier list GameCube controllers. Yeah, you fucking you already know what's going on. Okay, so for the first little guy, I'm gonna go tried and true, the classic GameCube controller design. The Indigo GameCube controller. It's a good design, you know. Uh, this is the one that most people played with growing up. It's a very it's a very iconic design for the Nintendo GameCube. You go to any Smash tournament, you'll see a bunch of these. A lot of people's preferred GameCube controller just for the simplicity of it. Um, and I feel very much like this controller belongs in the B tier. Yeah, we'll go B tier. We'll go B tier. Like it's not too spectacular. Um, but it is a good controller design. I like it. A lot of people like it. Um, certainly, certainly like certainly a good choice. Any GameCube controller is a good choice, really. But yeah. So this one, this one is the one that I personally grew up with. I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well. It's the Jet Black GameCube controller. Now, this is the one that I grew up with. Whenever I was younger, I had an Indigo GameCube, but the controller that came with it broke, so I got a Jet Black one. It was a nice design. I'm a fan of black because I'm an emo fuck. But it is a fairly basic design, so I am going to have to put it in the B tier alongside the Indigo GameCube controller. B tier's not a bad tier. Um, you'd rather be in B tier than um, the other ones. Coming up next, we have the Spice Orange GameCube controller. Now this one's pretty. I like this one. Um, it's orange isn't one of my favorite colors, but it works well with this controller. This specific shade. It is fairly basic. Um, so I'm not sure if it should go on the B tier or the A tier. Um, I do think it's pretty. Is it pretty enough for A tier though? That's the question. I'm gonna say no, it isn't. It'll go just alongside the Indigo and the Jet Black. Um, coming up next we have the Indigo and Clear GameCube controller. Now this GameCube controller, it's just it's kind of I don't like it. It's ugly. Um, yeah, it's not. I don't find it too like. There's nothing like too amazing about it. It's just kind of ugly. I'm sorry if you love this controller. I'm sorry if this is your childhood controller and I've just hurt your feelings. But this one's going straight into D tier. Uh, it's just like I don't like the clear and the indigo. They just don't mix too well. So yeah, unfortunately, this one is going straight to D tier. Next we have a lot of people's favorite. That's right. It's the platinum. It's the platinum GameCube controller. This one's a lot of people's favorite design. It is one of my personal favorites. Um, it is fairly basic in design, much like um, the Indigo, Jet Black, and the Spice Orange. But it has like this cool metallic feel to it. Like when you look at it, uh, Looks like it's cool. I like it. Uh, you know, this was going in A tier, which is a really good tier to be in. You know. Right. So next up we have the Emerald Blue GameCube controller. Now, I actually really like this one. It is really pretty. Um, but again, you know, it's a fairly basic design, fairly minimalist design, and you know, again, we're faced with the question of does it go in A tier or does it go in B tier? And I'm really conflicted on this one. Uh, it it is really actually, you know, yeah, it does go in A tier alongside the Platinum GameCube controller. Um, so next up we have just, you know, the clear GameCube controller. You know, again, it's ugly. It's ugly. I don't like it. Um, I don't know. It's just like I don't like clear controllers. That's the thing. Like it's kind of cool, you know, whenever you're 6 years old, first see the internals of the GameCube controller. But you know, it's just not doing it for me. So it's gonna go D tier, or it might not because it's not quite as ugly as the Indigo clear one. I find just because like doesn't clash. So you know, we're gonna go C tier, D tier. I mean. This one. This one's a neat one. Uh, I don't like gold. I don't like the color gold. Just like plastered on things to make it seem like it's special. I don't like it. Um, the golden GameCube controller gets a C ranking. It's not horrible. It's not particularly good either. Um, you know, there are worse controllers out there. This one is the Pearl White GameCube controller. Absolutely gorgeous. You know, it's stunning. Goes in the A tier. Actually, you know what? You know what? Put it S tier. I do feel like it deserves that spot in the S tier. Now this one, I forget what it's called. I believe it's the Emerald Green. And again, I really do like this shade. I really do like this color. Goes in A tier. I really like it. Now this one, I'm gonna upset some people here. Um, this is the wrong layer. Uh, which layer is that? That's This one is the Club Nintendo Mario controller. Now, if it weren't for that Club Nintendo exclusivity, I might rank it a bit higher. But you know, it's a fairly boring design for it to be, you know, such an exclusive GameCube controller, right? Right? Like I like this seems like, you know, something that could just be picked up in Walmart for the same price as a regular GameCube controller, you know? It doesn't seem like, you know, an exclusive controller. And you know, if it was just this design, it might go in C tier. But you know, due to that Club Nintendo exclusivity, I think I'm gonna have to put it in D tier. Now, coming up next, we have the Resident Evil GameCube controller. Resident Evil 4 GameCube controller. Which, was bundled with the special edition GameCube for Resident Evil 4. Now, this one is great. It's just a platinum silver GameCube controller, but with a bit of black at the back, and it's got the Resident Evil 4 logo on it. So this one gets an A tier. This one gets an A tier, hands down. I like this one a lot. I actually forget the name of this one as well, but it is a fairly boring design. Oh, wait, hold on. It is a fairly boring design. Not a lot going on here. It's just the logo. It's just a logo on top of a jet black GameCube controller, really. They got a bit lazy with this one. It's on its own, it's a B tier, but seeing as how it's like a special edition controller, it's going in the C tier. Just because I feel like there should be more out of a special edition controller. Now this one, forget the name of this one again, but this one is a very sought after controller, and I can see why. This one is the only Club Nintendo controller that I like, actually. It's got this really pretty red-orange color, and it's got a very cool emblem on the center. So yeah, I don't really think there's much more to be said. You can you look at it, and get the full. You can get why it's such a sought after controller. So yeah, this one gets S tier. Now this is the white GameCube controller. This one, now to untrained eyes, it may look identical to the pearl white, but actually, you can see there's a bit less of a sheen. So it is pretty. It's a pretty GameCube controller, but not as pretty as the pearl white. So it's going in the A tier. With the Resident Evil 4. It's not a bad thing to be an A tier. Again, I'll reiterate. It's not a disappointing rank to have. Next we have the Panasonic GameCube controller. Now, this one's a rarity, but it's also pretty ugly. I do like it. I don't like the gray color they used. I don't like the logo. The logo is just like standard, bold Calibri font. So for that, for such a rare controller as well, it's going in C tier. The Club Nintendo Luigi controller. Again, it's the same story as the Mario one. Don't really think there's much explaining there. Same with the Wario one as well. Funnily enough, there wasn't a Waluigi variant of this controller, which is a bit sad. But, Waluigi's never been the most popular character, so I can understand why. It's just, you got the Trinity here. Where's Waluigi, So yeah. So coming up next, we have, again, another Club Nintendo one. Not super amazing, but it's a bit prettier than the other ones. So at least this one at least gets a C tier. I can give it that. It'll at least get a C tier from me. Ikeshrafter, the YouTuber you're currently watching. Now Wavebird. Let me tell you about the Wavebird. It easily gets an S rank. Big in the image so you can see it. Yeah, it easily gets an S rank. It feels the same as a GameCube controller, right? But it's wireless, and I feel like that's all you really need to bump it up to S rank. Just the utility of it as well as the designs. There were a few other designs released, but I just included the one for simplicity's sake. Uh there was a silver one and a few Club Nintendo variants, which they were all fine as well. But I feel like we only needed the one to get the picture of why this was a great controller. Yeah, Wavebird, easy S rank. DK Bongos, easy S rank. Don't even need to explain why. DK Bongos go up here. Best controller for Smash, hands down. Chainsaw Controller. This is a wonderful controller. Goes in the garbage tier. Fuck this controller. Absolutely dreadful. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Goes straight in the trash. Absolute garbage. Now this one right here. This is the Smash 4 controller. It was released alongside Smash 4. And there was an Ultimate variant of this controller, but it was essentially the same thing, so I just decided to include them both in one spot. This I will say though, I prefer this controller just because I think the emblem is prettier with the Smash Ultimate controller. The emblem was a bit more minimalistic, but it's not. They're both great. They're both great. A tier or S tier? It goes in the A tier because it's an A tier controller. And that leaves us left with just two controllers. Those being the ASCII keyboard controller. Hold on. The ASCII keyboard controller. And the Spongebob controller. Now the ASCII keyboard controller, it's not really that useful outside of what the game was made for, which is Phantasy Star Online. But I'm a sucker for like weird kind of controllers like this. I love, just like I love looks people give whenever you show up to a tournament with this. So yeah, even though it doesn't seem like it should get S rank, I'm gonna give it S rank just because of, I love weird controllers like this. Things that don't really seem like they have that much of a practical purpose. But they don't really, but still fun to have. Still just fun controls to have. And the Spongebob controller, Spongebob controller goes in the S tier. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like.